Hi, this is Katie Oshiwanita with HJR Seminars LLC, Harmonizing Journey to Realignment, seminar and series or sessions. Here today the topic is the polarity drama and HJR insight. And it's been a little while since the last time I was with you guys. The weather's getting to be really awesome, and so I'm outside planting and stuff. So anyway, having fun that way. So yes, the polarity drama, and HDR insight. So, polarity consciousness seems to be kind of a primary theme of living a 3D life. At least that's what we're told, that's just what is. The battle, though, is literally between light and dark, electrical male and magnetic female energies. And I can't say that polarity consciousness is my cup of tea, but I'm coming to understand its position in the scheme of the kind of the bigger picture of the human evolution, right? We're becoming freedom spirits, particularly with bringing in the third key component of spirit, aka internal eternal core of your being, God source first eternal, Ah-yah, Ah-yah. We have the the Trinity at the top, the two, right, of those KSers, that balances the scales. As newly evolving, right, as we're newly evolving freedom spirits, okay. Sorry. As newly evolving freedom spirits, we are sifting and sorting what works, right, and what doesn't. We all are learning how to experience each positive to negative vibratory tonal signature to determine our inner eternal balance point. And it's not a static either. It's always changing, but it's still basically our center point of our eternal internal core of our being. We each have experienced extremes. We've each experienced extremes of liberalism versus conservatism, right? Or Luciferic versus Arymetic, Patriarchal versus Matriarchal, good versus evil, right versus wrong, streams of consciousness. There is a wisdom and discernment gained through this trial and error process. Okay. Everyone being fair and friendly to each other can only at this point in our evolution sincerely come once you relearn who you are through growth and evolution. No longer do we follow the tribal group laws of a nation, blindly following rules of coding, or we did it because it was always done, kind of tradition. We now choose, all right, and live the consequences of our choices as individuals of the all-one, God source first eternal, Ah-yah, Ah-yah. To better understand the dynamics of the polarity drama, we need to first travel all the way back to the ancient civilization of Lemuria. The Seth material by Jane Roberts said the Lemuria was the third ancient civilization to live on Earth. Voyager's material by Anna Dean referenced it as the third seeding. Rudolf Steiner referenced it as one of the first ancient civilizations on Earth before the Atlantean civilization. Now, according to Seth, the Lemurians made a contract to experiment with altering the aggression gene in the DNA when they came to birth then, right? Their assessment of the destruction of the previous seeding or civilization had been due to aggression. And now in Voyagers, references to seeding 2 destruction had been due to 1,000 Years' War. The problem is breathing is aggressive action. Walking is an aggressive action. Creating and birthing is an aggressive action. This civilization had a hard time functioning. Okay. They soon realized, this is according to Seth, they soon realized their experiment was a failure. But at the same time, they developed their mental and spiritual capacity to use sound mechanics. Their technology is still, right, far superior to anything we have today, right? And probably to a lot of the quote-unquote off-worlder too, or at least equal. They thankfully had the help from their future Venusian, aka Palladian lineage to support their spiritual development, and that's influence of Rudolf Steiner and somewhat G.G. Young on that one. I am not, and again, I'm not discounting that civilization at all. You know I don't, because I reference it quite a few different times in my work. They were a great civilization, and that we can still learn a tremendous amount from. But eventually, many of them dismantled their technology, abandoned their homes, and integrated, okay, into the local tribes in the area. Some were able to have offspring before dying. And now, according to G.G. Young, others became so twisted in fear and dysfunction that they became caught up in the eventual destruction of the continent, right? Still, others more evolved were able to recode their DNA as high priests and priestesses to leave the continent to help to form the Atlantean civilization. In my opinion, we still have their anti-aggressive gene to this day. It causes fear, okay, and physical weakness, inability at times to be expressive. I mean, if you can't breathe, right, easily, right? A lot of people hold their breath a lot. The thought of being in a polarity drama would just about have do them in. Okay, it's pretty stressful. Yet, you create whatever you focus on, right? Whether positively or negatively. If we are not careful, those of us with this altered gene could run the chance of becoming regressive and not becoming a fully evolved freedom spirit. Okay. People's altered genes, you know, with this program are easy to program. And it's, you know, and I also call people that are kind of running this really big, are also known as, I use the term, the handmaidens of the deep state. Okay. So those that are following me, they spend a lot of time in fear mode. They just want everyone to play nicely so they don't have to deal with aggression. They basically try just to follow the leader when they can. They can be any, political party, liberal or conservative. What governs their affiliation is where they are on the polarity scale of the magnetic and electrical frequency spectra, expressed as male and female dominant. There's this interplay, okay? It's not just one thing, it's a few things. Although each position expresses this submission, of course, in its own way. Some of these mindsets, though, in general, in let's just say in the spiritual community, say, don't play politics if you are spiritual. Don't stand out. Don't cause a fuss. Peace at all costs. The government wouldn't do. The government has our good intentions at heart. Yeah. Yeah. People are so fearful in general and unable to take action effectively for themselves. They tend to be on the extremes, of these two polarity poles, trying to play it safe. Never really taking charge of their life, but blaming others and other groups for their inaction. Obviously, everyone is at different stages of healing this DNA alteration program code, We next bring in Rudolf Steiner's Luciferic and Arymetic streams of consciousness to bear on the situation. And I'm studying kind of more of both of them, but just kind of generally speaking, Luciferic is of the intellect within the head. Its energy is kind of a regenerative energy, gives life at this point to a dying head, right? Our energy is going more into the body now as we evolve. Although now that we're coming back into ourselves and connecting into the higher domains, we're going to slowly start waking the brain up, but not with the not with the Luciferic energies. But anyway, the Luciferic is of the intellect, within the head. Regenerative energy giving life to a dying head. Fantasies, illusions, kind of words echoing in the head, working to divide one's soul from their spirit, causes them to be caught up in the mind of delusions. The Arymetic is within the bones, bringing death and destruction. Let's see, Luciferian information comes in this side, goes through the glands, and then the Arymetic comes up and kind of is more in the bones. Bringing death and destruction. It's breaking things apart. Kind of obtaining a person's focus, and it works at obtaining a person's focus to more personal earthly issues, more down here as opposed to out. It's more down. Not that that's bad, but at an extreme it can be. Scientific mind, the end is very Arymetic energy. Being very analytical is process oriented. Process oriented is very Arymetic. These two forces play out against each other. According to Steiner, in both, again, the physical body as well as the world around you coming in. And he has talked at length about, in the political arena, how the far left liberal is very Luciferic forces, kind of the big government controls to the point of being communistic. And he actually talked a lot about that. And he was in the turn of the century. So, yeah, anyway. Seeing the world from abstract concepts, okay, because we're talking it's Luciferic. So, seeing the world from abstract concepts, that's where we get sort of the brain, mental thought corpse, because they're very abstract, sort of woo out here. Is not based on fact, but illusions of the mind. So it's not grounded. Okay. The far right, conservative, Arymetic forces follow whoever has the biggest guns or power structure. Their focus is to keep tribal families safe, may even support others going to war for them. They tend to be warmongers, bringing death and destruction. And also just wanting to say that as far as Keylonic science goes, with the Ah-yah, she talks a lot about, the far left, which tends to be kind of considered the democratic, tends to be more Anunnaki lineage. Luciferic is a lineage of one of the Anunnaki lines, interestingly. The Arymetic is would be considered, or the conservative far right would be considered more the more draconian kind of. She refers to it as red dragons lineages. Kind of when you look at the two differences, so kind of I'm sort of fascinated to learn. I'm going to be studying more what actually organically is the Arymetic, because I don't think what it ended up becoming. I think it's a reversed polarity on the female energies is what I'm thinking. Okay. So this anti-aggressive twisted gene runs in both perspectives. So I'm not playing favorites. I see good in both sides, but I don't like this extreme thing that we're going on right now. More to the left, actually, more into the head. Also, because the fear is so great, right? They probably, for these guys, especially right now, all of us really, they probably tend to live out self-fulfilling prophecies of dramas of such as being a survivor of incest or rape, and other traumas tend to bring a lot of that when we go on these far extremes and are caught up in that coding. We'd have to. It's not really blaming the victim. It's just mechanics. It's just the mechanics. All right. I have seen this program run in my own life in terms of, and I'm not fronting. I have that gene. And I've been painstakingly working to clear it for a while. Doing a lot better. But yeah, really seeing the nuance of it, okay? Really seeing the nuance of it. We can find we can find our way out of it by healing our traumas and respecting and understanding our fear. And for me, the HJR sessions have made a huge difference, as well as with the people that I work with. For any work, and again, Keylonic science in general has been awesome, KDDL material. Any work that can connect you to your template, okay, to recode the DNA makes a big difference in transforming your life. It really does. Whatever way you can do that. I mean, you can still do it straight through meditation, but it's really helpful when you're working with the mechanics involved with your template. Okay. But first, understand what is behind the fear. Okay. And why you do what you do. Allow yourself to experience both polarities, right? Because we've been so, the more we heal the traumas, the more we're able to really look at, deeper levels of the fear, what's behind it, going at kind of feeling out the electrical, feeling out the magnetics, more sort of male energies, female energies. We have them both. We have that presence within a being that created the two of them, basically. Learn to find your balance of your Christic divine blueprint. Ah-yah, Ah-yah, your God source first eternal self. Or as Steiner references it as, from his time period, your personal Christ stream of consciousness. The natural balance point of the organic trinity of creation. Light, sound, un, one. Okay? Let go of trying to control or fix others. It's only binds you into dysfunction, binds you into net earth. You cannot stop breathing or protect others from breathing and living when those bumps come in the way of, okay? Just learning day by day to trust in life now, okay? Everyone, obviously, is at their own growth point with this. So I'm not saying everybody's equal with this. And, you can't just look at somebody from the outside and know where they're at or any of that. It's not even your business. It's your business to focus on you. There are those that experience very little polarity consciousness in their life because they have mastered the dynamics and healed their divine Christic blueprint. Others are living right in the middle of the crazy middle of it. Bouncies. I have seen the dynamic, and this is interesting, fascinating to me. Being in your center, the dynamics of the two realities, I've seen them going on simultaneously. Years ago, I was hanging out after a church service during the time when, way back when I was actually still going to church. I was kind of standing in the back of the room. It was kind of a big room. And everybody was, kind of socializing, after church and having a good overall good time. There was two men, who stood out to me. I was just drawn for my point of reference. And I was feeling, pretty neutral at that particular moment in time. And one guy was laughing and having a good time. So in other words, seemed pretty balanced energies overall. Okay. But really just enjoy. The other guy was really depressed and unsteady on his feet. He was just stumbling along throughout the room, okay? The man that was having a perfect time, he was happy with life and sound in himself and did not notice the depressed guy. In fact, this is what got me. This is what really pulled me into it. In fact, okay, the guy that was stumbling along, the guy that was happy talking to himself, the guy stumbling along, literally, the guy fell down that was not steady. The other guy, he's talking to some people here, he's totally, I didn't see him go in. Whoops. I didn't see him look at all. I didn't see him go, anything. He's just talking and away. And the other guy literally goes to fall where the guy was standing, except the guy, like I said, didn't miss a beat, stepped just to the side, still totally focused on his conversation. It's like not digesting each other's anything. It was like, oh, okay. It's likely they were literally in two different realities. So yeah, and I've been saying this for a while, and of course Seth says it, and I'm sure there's others, that reality is not rock bottom solid. While we all appear in the same so-called physical space, we are not all aware of each other unless, this is really important, vibrationally matched. No matter how much you don't like somebody and you're unhappy they're around, they're there for a reason. Okay, they're there for a reason. They're in your part of your template. You've aligned with them at some point in your template. Okay. So yes, polarity is about vibrational mechanics. It's about the balance within the organic trinity of life. The Un-One of God Source First Eternal, Ah-yah, Ah-yah, birthing the light body structure of light and sound. Okay. We, as the all that is, continuously finding our balance, right? And there's no set static balance point, nor is there a set static consciousness identity. It's always evolving, expanding, and growing. And we're trying out different gene combinations, okay, to find out what works and doesn't work, right? We're continuously working it, continuously working it. The only actual answers literally are for you, within you, of what's right for your template. Nobody's template is identical to the other. We're all unique and individuous of the one. So, trust yourself more and more every day, even if you're nervous. Feel it out. Feel out the situation, what's right for you. Face the fears. Just head on. Bring your inner being to the forefront. Okay? That deadheadness, there's 12 nodes, backseat tonal lines through your body that have been very dormant. Start activating your chakra systems. You have more than 7 chakras, and they connect some of them in the head. Start waking them up. Wake up your lotuses, your plasma lotuses. Okay. I hope you enjoyed my Harmonizing Journey blog post. I invite you to subscribe to my website. Also, please check out my private HJR sessions and HJR Grid Keepers membership program. Also, if you are a sci-fi fantasy enthusiast, you may enjoy my Waking in Alania series. I also would be grateful for any PayPal tips to show your support and appreciation. I don't utilize YouTube at all for any of that, getting funds. I don't want the controls on me personally, and I probably, I like to feel free to talk as best as I can, although we all are still pretty limited, but it's getting better. It's getting better. Especially the more we shift our consciousness. It really helps. All right. Much love and peace. Almost knocked my thing over again. Thank you. Love you guys. Take care. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.